Since Prosper, excuse me, Cam Jones, and Tyler Kolick. We'll open it up for questions. Just raise your hand and we'll get you a mic. Down here in the front.
Yeah, Ben Steele, Milwaukee Journal-Sun. You guys are super tall up there. It's kind of intimidating. Cam, you know Stevie pretty well, probably better than most. You know, he's such a nice guy off the court. So he's smiling all the time. Why do you think he's able to, you know, jump into character once he gets on the court and become that nasty defender?
He just got that dog in him. He wants to win. That's why he's here. So, you know, he's the nicest, you know, killer I know. Like just being on the court and him playing as hard as he does. And he knows that's what is going to help us win. So he comes through with that every game, and we really need that from him.
Nova Sears and WPTZ in Burlington, Vermont. Tyler, throughout the week, head coach of Vermont, John Becker, has sung your praises, kind of talking about your game and also the fact that he actually tried to recruit you as a kid out of New England. Just kind of curious about your familiarity with Becker, UVM, and kind of your relationship with him.
Yeah, obviously they've been a New England powerhouse for quite some time with Coach Becker at the helm, and before that, you know, they had the guy T.J. Sorrentine I'm pretty close with. But yeah, it was in my Final Five coming out of high school. I took I took an unofficial visit there, and you know, just coming out of high school, I didn't have much, and I'm thankful for them recruiting me.
Right here in the middle.
John Leasy, Marquette Wire. A question for any of you. How important will it be to get out to that hot start like you did on Saturday in New York when you're facing a team like Vermont who's coming in with a 15-game winning streak?
Max, can you handle that one?
Yeah. I mean, it would be great. I mean, it all starts for us like on the defensive end, like we did, you know, in New York and in the last 2 games in New York. I mean, it would be great to come out a hard start, but I mean, if not, we're gonna play regardless. We're gonna respond. I mean, that's who we are. That's what we do. And you know, if we play for each other, we leave everything on the floor, and we focus on starting on the defensive end and letting that impact our offense. Then we gonna play the way we want to play and have the outcomes we want to have.
Tyler, what's it like having Stevie guard you in practice?
He actually hasn't guarded me in a while. It's kind of Chase that I go after. He goes after me too. I mean, he's physical. He's a dude. But Stevie, you know, in pickup in the summer and even practice early on in the summer, he's up in you 94 feet. You know, that's the reason why we're so good. Me, Cam, Omax, you know, all the other guys get to go against guys like him, guys like Chase, guarding us every day in practice, getting us better.
Right here first.
Michael Cohen from Fox Sports. For any of you guys, to play with the sort of intensity and energy level and effort that Shaka Smart requires of you guys, how would you describe what conditioning is like in August, September, October when you guys get going?
It's challenging. It's pretty tough. My freshman year, I never really asked myself, is this really what I want to do, until we had one conditioning drill. But, you know, just pushing through it. You know, coach was just talking to us about it, you know, how it was a choice for us to do that. And, you know, it was just for the team and what we wanted to do, the outcome that we wanted to have. So, I mean, it was extremely important, and it's helped us today.
Next, we're going to try to take a call from Zoom. Austin, please identify yourself.
Hi, yes,
Excuse me,
Kurt Burmster from TSN up in Canada. I have a question for Olivier. Olivier, kind of a unique situation tomorrow. It looks like you and your sister are playing games about 45 minutes apart. I'm wondering if you two have talked about just that, how unique that is, and I'm also wondering if you know where your parents are going to be since you're both going to be playing at the same time tomorrow.
Can you repeat that last part? I didn't quite hear it right.
He was asking about how your parents are going to handle both games being so close.
I mean, to answer the first part of the question, I mean, it's pretty cool to have my sister and I play in the NCAA tournament. I mean, on a stage like this, like as siblings, it's something we dreamt about as kids, and you know, it's really awesome. And you know, as it relates to my parents, you know, I talked to them. They said they probably won't come to my game, but Not sure yet if they gonna probably one come here and one go to my sister game or anything yet, but we're gonna see. They haven't let me know yet, so yeah.
Right here.
Tom Withers, Associated Press. Tyler, how much do you know about Vermont, their history, when you've watched them on tape? Kind of what stands out? It's it's an experienced group with, it's been in the tournament before.
Yeah, obviously they've had success. I don't know how many years they've won their league now in a row, but they go to the tournament a bunch. And just 5 guys at all times that can shoot the ball, that can, are super skilled, dribble, pass, shoot. So we got to be on edge. Every guy on their team can make plays, so we got to be ready for everybody.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Good luck. Appreciate y'all. Watch them steps. Tricky. All right, next up, we're joined by head coach Shaka Smart. A few reminders quick before we get started. As a courtesy to Coach Smart and, of course, your fellow media members, please silence those cell phones. Provide your name and your media affiliation with each question, please. If you're joining us on Zoom, use that raise hand function and we'll get you there. And lastly, no recording of video within this room, please. Raise your hand if you have a question, we'll get you a mic. And with that, Coach Smart, any opening remarks?
Really excited to be here in Columbus with our guys. It's been a heck of a journey to this point, and very, very enthusiastic about getting started with the NCAA tournament. Our team has been all about relationships from the very beginning, the way that our guys try to make each other better on and off the court, and never been around a better group from that standpoint. So as we start here with this game against Vermont, our focus has been just on being the best version of us and, trying to make sure that anything else that's on the side, we block out and, we just allow that to be and focus on who we are. But we're just really grateful to be here, very appreciative of the guys that we have in our locker room, and excited to get started tomorrow.
Right here in the top.
Noah Sears in WPTZ in Burlington, Vermont. Coach, we saw in the Big East tournament how deadly your offense can be, especially in those, short little spurts. What makes you guys in particular so hard to defend from Tyler on downwards?
I think our guys' willingness to share the ball is one of the best attributes that we have. And then we also have some guys that can really pass the basketball, share the basketball, create for others. Obviously Tyler is the head of the snake from the standpoint of, creation of shots for our team. But Oso Ighodaro, we believe, is one of the best passers around at that size. And then other guys on our team that, have gotten better and better. I believe passing is contagious, and so is not passing. And so, the way that our guys have been willing to share the ball and create closeouts for one another has helped us be good on offense.
Michael Cohen from Fox Sports. Shaka, a few minutes ago, Tom Izzo was talking about sort of the double-edged sword of playing in a very, very physical conference. On one hand, it prepares you for any kind of play you'll face. On the other hand, he said it can wear you down a little bit physically over the course of a season. I'm curious where you think the Big East would fall on that spectrum in terms of how it's prepared you for this tournament.
Where does the Big East fall on the spectrum of physicality?
No, just in terms of, preparing you well versus wearing your guys down physically.
Yeah, I think let's be honest, and college basketball season gets longer and longer. And now they're talking about putting games in August. So, these guys are human beings. I think with the proliferation of interest and media coverage in our sport, there's never been more expected of the players from a physical standpoint. I think sometimes it can be too much. I'm probably in the minority there. But I would say for our team specifically, knock on wood, our guys have done a pretty good job, hanging in there, taking care of their bodies, fighting through different challenges. Physically, the Big East is a monster, and the refs let you play. So it's probably similar to what Coach Iz was talking about. I thought you were actually going a different direction with that question. You actually have to adjust the officials here in the NCAA tournament because not all the officials are going to come from a conference that you're familiar with. And watching some of the games the last couple of days, there's a lot of fouls being called. So, there's an adjustment there. But, I think our guys have hung in there pretty good through everything that's been asked of them.
Whitney Harding, WCMH in Columbus. Welcome to our city. So I'm going to ask you about our local young man that is on your team, Sean Jones. What have you seen from him in this year? And how exciting is it for a young guy like that to be in the tournament and be here in his hometown?
Well, Sean's been great. He's got, first of all, just a terrific way about him in terms of competing and enjoying being part of something larger than himself on a team. And, I'm really proud of him. He's probably, of all of our freshmen, he's had the biggest adjustment on the court in terms of the role he had before he got to college and then, what we're asking him to do this year for this team. And he's been huge in helping us with defensive pressure, intensity, aggressiveness, offensively creating shots for other guys, getting in the paint, and using his speed as an advantage. I asked him the other day, what do you think about going back to Columbus? And, Sean, he's pretty serious sometimes. He said, just going to be focused on the game. But it is pretty neat, to be playing in your hometown in the NCAA tournament. And I really hope for him that, he can play well and he can be part of, helping his team advance.
Adam Jardy with the Columbus Dispatch. Throughout coaching careers, you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. And I just wonder, as a coach, when things aren't going well, what does it take to stick to what you believe in as a coach? Obviously, you're going to maybe change schemes or things like that. But when it comes to what makes you a successful coach, how hard is it to stick to what you believe in your core when things aren't going well?
I think it's increasingly hard to stick to what you believe in because all the people around you and on the outside practice resulting, which is judging the process by the results. And, we live in that type of society now. So-and-so is a good coach because they got good results yesterday or last week. So-and-so is a bad coach because they got bad results. And as we know, it's not how life works. And so it takes a real conviction. I was lucky just to be around some guys early in my career as an assistant coach that, helped me have a level of belief in our process and how we do things, really from what I stole and learned from them. And then I'm fortunate to have some older guys in my life right now that have gotten to an age where they encourage me to not give one iota about what anyone thinks, no disrespect to anyone in this room, in the media, or, on the outside, because if those people knew what they were doing from the standpoint of coaching or playing, they would be doing those things. And so George Raveling specifically has been really, really powerful as a mentor for me to help me just try to stay with what it is that we're trying to do and that we believe in. These guys are living, breathing human beings. I mean, they are ever-changing. They have feelings. They have lives outside of basketball. And it's confusing for them when you change up. And so we've tried to be very consistent with them. We value relationships, we value growth, and we value victory, what goes into victory. Everybody wants to win, but not everyone's willing to do the things that go into it.
Ben Steele, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Stevie's such an interesting case. You see him walking around smiling all the time. He's such a sweet guy. But then you get him on the court, he's talking junk. He's up in, the player he's guarding. Why do you think he's able to switch his demeanor so quickly once he steps in between the lines?
He has character. If you cut him open, there's some championship-level DNA inside of him. I mean, he's someone that he comes from great stock. And if you want to have a great culture, and that's your culture, just how you act, interact, and respond, that's all it is, then you better have guys like Stevie Mitchell. He is very, very fun-loving and enjoys having fun and loves being around his teammates. He's also a very serious guy. He's serious about his academics, 4.0 student. He's serious about his basketball. He's in the gym every day at 8 in the morning, regardless of whether it's an off day, a practice day, a game day, working on his game. And he's serious about his team. He loves team. And if you have a group of guys that don't really care about team, then you don't have a team. And we're fortunate to have Stevie Mitchell and the rest of his teammates that care about each other.
Down here in the front.
Mark Giannotto from the Commercial Appeal in Memphis. I'm guessing you've been asked some variation of this question about Cam over the course of the season, but he wasn't necessarily, probably wrongly, the most hyped guy in Memphis coming out of high school. But I'm curious if you expected him to elevate his game the way he has so soon in his college career, and sort of what's gone into him transforming himself into a really good college basketball player.
Yeah, I absolutely expected it. In fact, I expect more from him. He's the one guy on our team, maybe one other guy I could point to that has way more in him, like way more. and tomorrow would be a great day for him to explode and show that. At the same time, he's a sophomore, and it takes time, and it's a process. He's our leading scorer, so we're appreciative. But this guy he's got a special offensive ability that I haven't coached a lot of guys that have everything he has. On last year's team, he was obviously a freshman, and we had a bunch of older guys that had no recognition of how good this guy was. And I'd be like, guys, give him the ball. And, you know, one of the things that's great about our team this year is that Cam's teammates understand what Cam can be and what he can do. So you'll see him out there bombing some crazy shots, but it's all part of a larger formula and plan that these guys have worked together on since going back to April, and he's got great things ahead of him.
Tom?
Tom Withers, Associated Press. Shaka, Coach Enfield was saying before that he kind of leans on some of those memories from his Dunk City run. I was just wondering, since you took a program on a magical run through March, does that kind of shape your messaging when you're, you know, a higher seed and going against an experienced Vermont team?
Not really. I mean, I think anything that we have from the standpoint of experience as a coaching staff, we try to convey to our guys. Our guys know we're the higher seed. Our guys know that, you know, Vermont is a dangerous team. You know, we do our same scouting to prepare for Vermont and what they do, but it's way more about us being the best version of us. You know, in 2011, when we beat USC, then Georgetown, then Purdue, then Florida State, then Kansas, I bet you if you asked those coaches, you know, they would probably give us some credit, but then they probably would say, hey, you know, on that day we didn't do this well enough, or we weren't quite as good as we needed to be in this or that. So we're going to focus on us because that's what we can control. And we believe with who we have in our locker room, if we do that, then the results will take care of themselves. You certainly need some luck sometimes, especially in this type of event. But, you know, I'm grateful for the guys we have, and if we can continue to have larger antidotes than the inhibitors that tend to get in the way sometimes, then we'll be fine.
Sam King, Journal and Courier in West Lafayette, Indiana. Somebody you probably didn't expect to be asked about today. Jonah Lucas, I know that you understand the value of walk-ons. Just tell me what a guy like that adds to your program as a scout team guy, as a guy that's just going to do whatever it takes to help this team get better.
Yeah, our walk-ons are incredibly important. Jonah's been terrific, especially as a freshman. It's not easy coming as a freshman and making the transition to college basketball. Our guys every day are selfless. They pour into their teammates. They know they're not going to play in the game unless it's a lopsided game. And they prepare for practice even more so than the scholarship guys because they got to know the other team's stuff, and they do a great job executing you know, what we ask them to do from a scout team standpoint. So very, very grateful for Jonah and all of our walk-ons.
Delaney Bry, NBC Milwaukee. I didn't ask any of the guys, so I don't know the answer, but is there a theme for this tournament or these first session of rounds? And if there is, why did you choose to go with that?
Of course there's a theme. There's always a theme. But I'll tell you later, because I could tell you what our theme is and you wouldn't really understand. It's kind of an inside thing. But the emphasis, as always, on us being the best version of us.
John Lizzie, Marquette Wire. Coach, before you went out to New York, you were talking about in order for your team to have a run that they did in New York, you had to get production from your bench. I want to talk about your freshmen on that bench, Chase, Ben, and Sean. How have you seen them grow throughout this season? Because you've trusted them in an opportunity to get a lot of minutes throughout the season.
Yeah, I tend to play freshmen more than maybe other coaches might, or even some of the assistant coaches on our staff. You know, we'll go into games sometimes, and I won't call out the assistant coaches, but they'll say, maybe we need to shorten the bench in this game. And I don't know, I just think as a freshman, if you can't get out there and get your feet wet and get some opportunity, then you're just going to be starting from square one the next year. And then in this transfer portal world we live in, it's like, well, you know, they weren't going to put me in the game that year, then why would they do it the next year? So grateful that the 3 freshmen we have gotten a lot of opportunity. Those guys, your freshman year is all about learning from mistakes and then also putting successful experiences in your pocket. So they've got 34 games worth of mistakes and successful experiences in their pocket. You know, when this season gets done, and, you know, hopefully it's sometime down the road, but when the season gets done and they take a week off and then they come back in the gym, they'll have a different look to them. They won't look like freshmen anymore. But right now, it's all about what can I do to contribute to help my team be better, and how can I best be a star in my role. And I think Sean Jones has done a terrific job of saying, hey, how do I use my quickness to impact the game positively for my team? Chase Ross, his athleticism, his length, his ability to, you know, get in the paint, his ability to shoot, made some big shots for us in New York. And then Ben Gold, I think, has as much or more potential than anyone on our team, but also had an increasingly, you know, challenging adjustment as he made the decision to come to Marquette, because it's like he had to make the freshman adjustment and he had to make the international adjustment. And he's really come out there and fought and scrapped and clawed and just tried to impact the team in any way that he can. So, yeah, we need those guys for sure. David Joplin coming off the bench. They don't have to come in and be heroes. They just have to come in and make positive contributions to our team.
And that'll conclude our time with Coach Smart. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good luck. .120 with the Purdue student athletes. Purdue student athletes at 120.